Now, we're on the second petition. There are 7 petitions. I'll point those out pretty soon. The second one is when Jesus instructed us that we're supposed to say in our prayers something along the lines of, "Thy kingdom come." It's the shortest of all the petitions, but Martin Luther said 500 years ago, it's the terrible petition because it's an invitation to the God of the universe, inviting him to control me. That's what we're saying when we say, "Thy kingdom come." He's the king, it's his kingdom, and we're inviting his kingdom to come, and because we're praying it into our lives. And so what we're learning is this prayer is a guide, it's a pattern, it's a collection of petitions that are to frame for us what are the vital aspects that need constant maintenance for us to be pleasing and fruitful and doing everything the Lord wants us to do. So, control me is how we learn to seek, because it's a choice. We don't have to do this. We don't have to invite this. We don't have to welcome. We don't have to surrender. It's a choice to seek. And then this is very interesting. First, if you look at the way the prayer is structured, our Father which art in heaven, it starts out with just focusing on who God is. The very first after we address the letter, the content of the letter starts with this, "Thy kingdom come." It's the first priority that Jesus mentions in chapter 6, verse 33, the same right where you are, Matthew 6:33 says, "Seek ye first." Now let me give you a Greek word study. Do you know what the Greek word first means? First. Isn't that amazing? It means first, priority, ahead of everything else, at the top of the list, most important, what I attend to first. What does the Lord say? As soon as you go online and make sure that you're actually connected and online, what's the first petition that you offer to God? God, more than anything else, I need you to control me. I want to seek first your rule. That's what kingdom is. Over my life, and if this is supposed to be the manner we pray, and we're supposed to pray without ceasing, it's not like once a week I need to kind of say, "Okay, God, it's time for you to take over again. I've kind of gotten in the ditch a lot this week, and I've had several breakdowns. It's time for you to take over again." It is a constant desire we have to seek first the rule of God over my life every day. Now, because there's a part of us that wants to go back to the old father, the old system, the old way of focusing on ourselves and focusing and living for ourselves and measuring everything around how it attaches to me rather than how everything is to focus on God and it's all about him. But when we do that, the very first petition after the new birth, after knowing who we belong to, after knowing we're saved, after knowing God is our Father, the very first petition is the terrible one: I want you to control my life. And if you think about the controlling, and this is when I consciously surrender to God, this is when I invite him to take over my life again. By the way, how often are we supposed to pray? Paul said, pray without what? This is interesting, because this is the only endless part of our Christian life that's commanded, which is prayer. And prayer starts with inviting God's control. Before we tumble out with all of our problems and kind of updating God on everything that we're going through and all of everything that he's kind of slack on and everything else, we look at him and we invite him to control us. That's the checklist Jesus gave. I mean, start thinking in your mind. Are you and I set to do this? Do we pause, be still, and know who we're talking to? And just let that settle in. And then we bow in front of him and invite his control. Did you know that solves about 95% of all the things we come to him with, if you think about it? And when we invite his control, we offer him the priority spot in our life. We say, I want you to control the first place in my plans. I want to seek you before everything else. I want to seek your word to feed my soul because that's what you told me you want to do. I want to seek your truth to guide my thoughts because I don't want to think error. I want to seek your peace because that's the only thing that can guard my anxious heart. I want to seek you right here before I fly out into my day.